Hello, everybody. It is Uncle Frank, Team Beer Guts, and welcome to day one of the Beer Advent Calendar for the year 2023. I am your host, Uncle Frank. I am a professional craft brewer. I work for the Spunny Nose Brewing Company, and I am also a certified Cicerone. So that means I've taken tests and done a lot of geek studying to learn about and talk about beer. Does it mean I know more than everybody else? No. Does it mean that I want to present what I know? Yes. So, if you've been here before, awesome. Thank you for coming back. If you haven't, you're in for a little bit of beer education and some fun, and I ask you to please like, subscribe, share, hit those buttons down on the bottom. That's going to allow this channel to grow and turn into what it is supposed to be, because I know it has a lot of potential for us to be able to share beer and other adventures with you. So, welcome to my kitchen, and we're going to talk about beer number one. It is the Beer Advent Calendar. I've done this in the past, where we do a different beer every day leading up to Christmas. 24 beers in a case, 24 days before Christmas. Not a coincidence. Throwing down a little bit of water, because I had a couple of beers with dinner, but I want to really be able to articulate what it is that we're going to be able to have today. What beer should we start with for beer number one? Well, first we should start by getting in the holiday spirit, right? So we'll take the Smutty Nose hat off and my safety goggles that I had on earlier, because I'm not at work anymore, and let's throw on the Christmas hat. Yes, because it's Christmas time. It is the holiday spirit time. That's right. And it's not snowing yet here in New Hampshire. It is in other parts of New England. I've seen pictures, people like Ted King and their area up in Vermont. They've got snow. Upper areas of Maine, they've got snow. We don't have any here yet, thankfully, because I don't mind winter. I'm not a big fan of the snow. I'm not a skier. I do some bike rides and things like that. So, but I do like drinking in the winter. And what do you think of for winter? Maybe you want a winter warmer. Maybe you want a little bit of a heavier beer. So we're going to start not heavy, but big. Let's talk about what the Beer Judge Certification Program calls. And I'm going to look this way because it's here. I'm looking at the camera. This is actually probably really, really bad. Let's kind of move the camera a little bit. That's perfect. There we go. We can still see everything. Barleywine. So Barleywine should showcase a malty, rich sweetness and intense flavors, chewy, rich in body, warming alcohol, and pleasant fruity or hoppy interest. When it's aged, it can take on a port-like flavor, a wintertime sipper. Aged beer, Frank? Yes. Higher alcohol beers can be aged. Not all of them, but higher alcohol beers, barley wine, imperial stouts. So that can be American or English barley wine, American or English style imperial stout, which is Russian, so I don't know why this English and American, but it's just imperial stout. Those big beers can be aged, and they're going to take on different flavors, different complexity. They will change over time. A perfect example is a beer that I once made. I called it the Big 4-0. I made it on my 40th birthday. Very, very hoppy to begin with. This was a 9% beer. Over time, the hops faded. As the hops faded, the malt character started to shine through a little bit more. So it was a hoppy beer, but not hoppy like an IPA, but the malt started to push through a little bit more. And 2 years later, oh, the complexity that was there, it was very, very fine and delicious. It all disappeared after year 3. It only lasted 3 years, that beer, and you can do them in succession. So if you have beers like this, try to do a vertical. Beers such as Sierra Nevada Bigfoot. So as you can see here, this is a 2021. So if I could get a 21, 22, and 23, I have a vertical. When you have bottle shares, maybe you have 20, 21, 22, 23. You can do difference and see how they've changed and aged over time. So a barley wine, as I've described, is going to be a big malty beer. It can have some hoppiness to it, but it's not going to be hop bitterness. Think of it this way. Your IPA, hops come up this way. Hops shine through. But for a big alcoholic beer, you need the alcohol, which comes from malt. Your malt comes up. So it's actually going to taste balanced. Might even be a little bit more. Even though it's still big, hoppy beer, it's overpowered by the malty. You want malt complexity and everything else that comes with it. So we can go tulip glass, which is the type of glass that you should have this beer in. Hopefully it's beer clean. I did my best, so. Look at that color. That is a beautiful, beautiful, rich, amber, dark copper color. The head on this is tan, light tan, beach sand. That's just a beautiful beer. And Sierra Nevada does a wonderful job with this beer every single year. I highly recommend, if you want to get into barley wines or find out about barley wines, this is something you can find. I believe every state in the entire country can get Sierra Nevada Bigfoot. And it comes out once a year, and I always look forward to it. The aroma. Let's talk about the aroma here. Raisins. So, raisin bread, not raisins. Raisins would be a little bit too oxidized type aroma to it. Now, if you had a Pilsner that smelled like this, throw it away. Run away. Bad, bad. Pilsner's a different beer. Young, fresh. It's a lager, so not super, super fresh. Blonde ale, very, very fresh. No, shouldn't taste like that at all. Shouldn't smell like that at all. This, aged beer, complexity. Think of how it comes across after. It develops things. They start to play together. I haven't even tasted it yet, and I have so many things in my mind of how I want to be able to describe this beer. I've used this example before, and I hope it's not too complex for anybody. It is the junior high school band and the high school band, and eventually those guys who play instruments in college. The junior high school band would be a very, very young version of this. They're all there, they're all playing at the same time, but they don't know how to play together. This is going up here, and here's the trombone, and here's the saxophone, and here's the drummer, and everybody wants to shine. Then, after a few years, you come together, and you play well together. This, I can tell just by the aroma, it plays well together. The aroma is there, the bread, raisins, sweet malt. It's like toffee. Oh, this is wonderful. And I'm not going to use wonderful as the description of what you're tasting. It is what I'm experiencing. And if you've seen episode 0, please go back and see episode 0, because I said there's a lot of beer review people. Well, let's be frank, because I'm frank. They suck. They'll be like, it tastes wonderful. You should have it because it tastes wonderful. No. I don't know who that guy is or gal is who says that. But I don't want to watch them drink in their kitchen and tell me a beer is wonderful. I want to know why it's wonderful. And that's what I'm hoping to be able to bring to you. And these are the flavors that you need to be able to express if you're going to do beer reviews online and tell people how wonderful the beer is. It's a wonderful experience. It tastes like bread, like molasses, like gingerbread without the ginger. Like, if you had gingerbread, there's a little spiciness character that goes with it, so it's not a full-on gingerbread thing. However, if you had fresh homemade gingerbread, a little bit of, I don't know, caramel or butterscotch drizzle on the top, oh, that'd be some cream cheese, breakfast toast. Yeah, this would be wonderful. So the English barley wine, it was made as a strong ale, so something you can cellar, that you can keep it for a long time. And most of these times will last, I like to try selling my beers anywhere between 2 to 5 years. Anything after 5, they might still be wonderful, but I want to drink them because they might not be. They're going to hit a peak and then eventually come down. That 2 to 5 range is usually pretty good. And barley wines, usually a little bit longer than that, as opposed to, say, a strong ale, Belgian quad, Russian imperial stout. Barley wines, I've done 6-year verticals of barley wine, and they've all been amazing. So there's your introduction, if you've never had it, to to a barley wine. Not so much English barley wine. This one's an American barley wine because it's the same idea, but you're going to over hop it. And the hops, just like the one that I was talking about, my Big 4-0, will start to surpass each other. I still get some leafy hops here, like fresh tea. And that tea flavor, I'm sure, was much more prominent when this beer was super fresh 3 years ago. Yeah, math. That's 2 years, Frank. 21 minus 23, 2, yeah. Anyway, this is a wonderful beer. This is a sipping beer. It's a great beer to have at the end of the night. Great beer to have sitting by the fire amongst some friends. If you had a couple of these, everybody gets a smaller snifter glass. You know, maybe you're doing some sharing. If it's just you, end of the night, you've had a big full meal like I did today. This is my nightcap, and this will be it. I'm good with this. I'm going to sit, maybe I'll watch a movie, maybe I'll watch a game, whatever it happens to be. Recording this video first, letting you know that you should go out and explore barley wine. Find some English barley wine and American barley wine, and try them side by each. That's a New England term. Don't worry about it. If you can find the 2021 Bigfoot Sierra Nevada barley wine, right now this tastes amazing. It's just it really is, and it's super balanced. I have that hop bitterness that helps balance out the malt sweetness. I feel like this could go with dessert, and a dessert that would be, let's go something, maybe not bitter chocolate like a baker's chocolate, because I feel like that should be more reserved for Russian Imperial Stout, but something that's got a little bit of bitterness to it as well as the sweetness. So a pie that's got some type of hearty crust to it, a cheesecake perhaps, that would go really well with. If you're just doing fruits, green apple with butterscotch or honey drizzle, a hot honey drizzle. Oh, that actually sounds pretty good now I think about it. So, yes. So that's where I would go on barley wines. There's a lot of really great barley wines out there. I encourage you to try and find a bunch of them if you can. There is a dry complexity here, graham cracker. Then it kind of finishes down, and that's that dry leafy hop flavor that I'm getting there. So that is beer number 1 on our beer advent calendar. 24 beers in a case, 24 days before Christmas, and I hope I am conveying some useful information to you, and this will be the last time that I'll rant about that. And I mentioned it in the first video, episode 0. This is episode 1. Episode 0, I talked about there's a lot of people out there that aren't very good at doing this. And I'm not saying I'm an expert. I am very humble, and I am welcome to critique. I totally am. But there are guys out there that just, I just feel like they're wasting my time and your time. And nobody wants to do that. We want to enjoy beer together. So hopefully you enjoy this. Leave me some comments. I will comment back. Follow us on Instagram. We are Team Beer Guts. So with the underscore. So team_beer_guts. That'll have a picture and a quick synopsis. But here's where the detailed videos will be. I really appreciate it. Again, like, subscribe, share. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Ride bikes. Drink good beer. Cheers. And that's good stuff.